Good morning everyone. So today we will be discussing about English bond and Flemish bond. So in the previous slide I have already been discussed with you about the header bond and the stretcher bond. Okay. So we'll give a quick review on this. So in the stretcher bond I have already told you stretcher is the longer face of the brick as shown in our diagram, that is in the elevation diagram. You can see here this is the longer face of the brick. This is known as stretcher bond. And in the brick of size 190 into 90 into 90, from this brick size 190 into 90 mm face is the stretcher. And in the stretcher bond masonry, all the bricks are arranged in the stretcher courses. You can see here in the stretcher bond, all the bricks have been arranged in the stretcher courses. This is known as stretcher bond. And this one is the elevation part, and this is known as plan. We can say it as the longer face of the brick has been placed in the brick masonry. So next one, that is header bond. So in this header bond means it is a shorter face of the brick as shown in a elevation diagram. You can see here the diagram. This is a shorter face of the brick. Okay. And in the header bond brick masonry, all the bricks are arranged in the header courses. You can see here the bricks are all been arranged in the header courses. You can see here this is the plan part and this is the elevation part. The header have been the bricks have been arranged in the header courses. Okay. And this is the isometric view of the stretcher bond and the header bond. This is the stretcher bond and this is the header bond. Okay. This is the longer face of the brick has been showing here, and this is the shorter face of the brick has been shown here. So next we'll be reading about, that is English bond. So what do you mean by English bond? In this alternate courses, it consists of header and stretcher. Okay. So you can see here in this column, you can see here in this line, this is a row 1. If we take it as a row 1, row 2, and this is a row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6, row 7. Okay. So if we take this and this one, we can say it as this is the header and this is the stretcher part. Okay. Same, this is the header part, this third and fourth part, that is this one, this is stretcher part. And next, that is the header and stretcher. It consists of alternate header and stretcher. So we can say it as the English bond is the strongest bond, and it is commonly used for the bond of the walls of all the thickness. To break the continuity of the vertical joints, a brick is cut lengthwise into two halves and used in the beginning and end of a wall after the first header. This is called as queen closure. As I have discussed with you about the queen closure, okay, and you can say that this in this part the queen closure have been placed here. Okay, this part the queen closure have been placed, in this part also queen closure have been placed. Okay, so we can say that to break the continuity of the vertical joints of a brick, the brick is cut lengthwise into two halves and used in the beginning and end of a wall after the first header. So this is called as queen closure. Okay, so next figure here, these are the figure of the one brick thick wall and then 1.5 brick thick wall. Okay, you can see here, if we construct the one brick thick wall, this is the elevation part. You can see this is known as header. Next, this is a stretcher. Next, same procedure, header, stretcher, header, stretcher. Okay, and this is the plan of the stretcher courses. This is the face part and this is the back part. You can see here, this is the face part and this is the back part, and this is the plan of the header courses. Okay, this is the face part and this is the back part. Okay, this is known as one brick thick wall. And in the 1.5 brick thick wall, this is the elevation part. Okay, you can see here, this is the brick header, it has been placed, and this is the stretcher part. Next, same is the header, stretcher, header, stretcher. Okay, so this is known as elevation part. And then this here comes the plan of the stretcher course in the 1.5 brick thick wall. This is the face part and this is the back part. And next here comes is the plan of an header courses. This is the face part and this is the back part of the brick masonry. Okay, so this is all about the English bond of 1 brick thick wall and 1.5 brick thick wall. So next we will be reading about that is Flemish bond. So in this type of bond, each course comprises of alternate header and stretcher. Alternate courses start with stretcher and header. Each header is placed centrally between the stretcher immediately above and below to maintain an even bond. To break the vertical joints, the queen closures are required. Okay, you can see here in this diagram, in this type of Flemish bond, each course, okay, this course comprises of alternate header and stretcher. Okay, we can see that this is the stretcher part, next header, stretcher, header part. The next same procedure have been followed. This is the header part, this is the stretcher part, header part, stretcher part. Okay, so alternative courses start with stretcher and header, and each header is placed centrally between the stretcher immediately above and below to maintain an even, or we can say to maintain a Flemish bond. So to break the vertical joints, the queen closes have been required. Okay, so next we will be reading about that are important terms of stone masonry. Okay, so what are the different terms of the stone masonry? So first is string course. It is a horizontal projecting course of masonry projecting out of the face of the wall for shedding rainwater off the face. It imparts an aesthetic appearance to the structure and is generally provided at every floor level. Okay, here you can see the string course. It is a horizontal projecting course of the masonry which is outside of the face of the wall, and it is mainly used to protect the rainwater from the face, and it imparts the aesthetic appearance or the beautiful appearance to the structure and is generally provided at every floor level. Okay, this is a diagram of the string course. You can see here, this is a diagram of the string course. Okay, so next we will be reading about that is corbel. So what do you mean by corbel? Projecting stone which is provided to support the joint, truss or weather shed, etc. This is known as corbel. Corbels are generally molded and given ornamental treatment. Okay, you can see this diagram of the corbel here. This is the corbel. Okay, this is the projecting stone and which support the floor, truss or weather shed. Okay, and it can be generally molded in a given ornamental treatment. This is known as, you can say here, this is known as corbel. Okay, and next that is cornice. It is a horizontal molded projection provided near the top of a building or at a junction of a wall and ceiling. So this, you can see the diagram of the cornice here. This is the cornice diagram, and this you can see, this is the images of the cornice. It is the horizontal molded projection provided near the top of a building or at a junction of a wall and ceiling. You can see in your houses the cornice has been provided in your top of a building or any of a junction of any wall. So next, that is coping. It is a covering of the stone or brick placed on the top of a external wall or parapet to prevent the seepage of water through joints. So we can see here the images of coping. This is the coping, and it is a covering of the stone or brick which is placed on the top of the external wall, or you can say it is placed on top of a parapet to prevent the seepage of the water through the joints. This is known as coping. And next one, that is buttress. It is a sloping or stepped masonry projection from a tall wall on the exterior of a wall. It is provided to work as lateral support of the wall. You can see here, this is the buttress diagram I have shown here in the images. It is a sloping, or you can say it is a stepped masonry projected from a tall wall on the exterior of a wall, and it is provided to work as lateral support of the wall. Next one, that is parapet. Parapet means it is a term applied to a low wall built around a flat roof to act as protective solid balustrade for the users of the terrace. Okay, you can see here the images of the parapet. This is the parapet wall, and it is mainly applied to the low wall built around a flat roof to act as a protective solid balustrade for the uses of our terrace. It have been used. So these are all about the important terms of stone masonry, and these are all the assignment questions. You will be reading about what is retaining wall, define the queen closure and king closure, what do you mean by load bearing and non-load bearing walls, draw the neat plan and elevation of English bond of 1.5 brick thick wall, what are the various purposes providing the wall in a building, describe briefly with neat sketches, and various terms of stone masonry. These are all about the assignment questions. If we have any doubt in this chapter, then you can ask me in the next slide. Thank you.